Before we start the Grapple Asia podcast episode, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors and people that support us. Softspot.Açaí. Kat has a little store now in Tonglo, and they do some incredible acai. It's sugar-free, no preservatives, and they have little pop-ups around the place. They had a little pop-up in Paragraph and M-Quartier recently, but they're mainly based in Tonglo. They're available on Grab as well, and they do some great dairy hybrid options as well, and their nut butters are incredible. The pistachio one I highly recommend personally. Our sponsor is fightaesthetic.asia, and if you use code Grapple Asia, you'll get 10% off everything except from the alpha gi. So thank you to Aesthetic for always supporting us, and we actually do also supply them in Thailand with free shipping as well.
พิซซ่าไอศครีมเสิร์ฟโปะมาแบบนี้เลยเหรอครับแล้วจะกินยังไงรสชาติจะเข้ากันไหมเนี่ยจริงๆแล้วที่เขาโปะไปเนี่ยไม่ใช่ไอศครีมจริงๆหรอกครับจะเป็นตัวครีมชีสมูสรสชาติจะออกเปรี้ยวหวานมันครับก่อนกินเนี่ยเราก็ละเลงมันให้ทั่วเลยครับตัวพิซซ่าเนี่ยจะเป็นพิซซ่าเปปเปอโรนี่นะครับพอได้ชิมแล้วเนี่ยเข้ากันดีนะครับครบรสดีเปรี้ยวหวานมันเค็มครับแปลกใหม่ดีตัวโคนก็มากินกรอบๆครับนอกจากอันนี้พิซซ่าอื่นก็น่ากินครับอย่างถาดเนี้ยจะเป็นบูโกกิชิคาโกพิซซ่าครับตัวหน้าเขาจะเป็นสไตล์เกาหลีนะครับหน้าแน่นแป้งหนานุ่มครับจุดเด่นของเขาเลยคือเรื่องชีสนี่แหละครับให้มาเยอะมากแบบสะใจอ่ะแล้วทุกถาดจะใช้เป็นแป้งพิซซ่าแบบชาเขียวครับได้กลิ่นหอมอยู่เบาๆนะส่วนจานนี้เป็นพาสต้าซีฟู้ดโรสซอสครับให้ทะเลมาจัดเต็มซอสเข้มข้นนัวๆครับไก่ทอดก็เป็นตัวท็อปอีกตัวเลยนะครับจานใหญ่เนื้อกรอบฉ่ำในท็อปปิ้งแน่นครับร้านนี้คือร้านพิซซ่ามารุครับร้านพิซซ่าไก่ทอดร้านดังจากเกาหลีเมนูเขาจะเป็นอาหารฟิวชั่นราคาเริ่มต้นประมาณ 2-300 บาทครับเมนูเยอะอยู่นะครับมาเนี่ยเลือกไม่ถูกเลยแนะนำให้มากันหลายคนจะได้ลองสั่งมากินหลายๆอย่างครับมีสาขาแรกและสาขาเดียวในไทยตอนนี้อยู่ที่เซ็นทรัลเวิลด์ชั้น 7 นะครับ
A shout out to our sponsor, creontes.com, the memetic lifestyle band in grappling and performance sports. They create stylish jiu-jitsu apparel with a twist of humor, and they've built quite a cult following and community as well. If you use the discount code Grapple Asia, you'll get 10% off all orders, and give them a follow as well on Chief Creonte. And again, the website name is creontes.com. All right. So this is the Grapple Asia podcast. This is going to be episode 26, actually. And my guest today is Kemal Akagündüz. He's a coach at Absolute MMA Melbourne. And he actually was coaching for a very long time in China. While he was there, he was learning learning Chinese as well. And he's originally from Turkey. And I just wanted to put him on, have him on as a guest. So Kemal, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So you started martial arts around 2009 in Belarus, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Muay Thai though, because there wasn't any jiu-jitsu there at the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me why you decided you wanted to start martial arts.
I played football all my life. My father used to be a professional football player.
Oh wow. Okay.
So like I come from a pretty athletic family. They love sports. One of my cousins played for like Galatasaray, one of the biggest football teams in Turkey. So when I went to Belarus as a student, but I gained so much weight over there. I was like 102 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wanted to do something. And then I wanted to do either boxing or I didn't really know about like combat sports, martial arts, right? And then I found the Wing Chun school, right? Because it looked very cool. I tried to go there. It was so far away. I said, maybe I should try this Muay Thai. So that's how I started with Muay Thai. Thanks God that Wing Chun place was too far away.
Okay. And I think it was through selling Chinese goods in Turkey that you decided to go to China to learn Mandarin. Is that correct?
Yeah. Originally, my father wanted me to go to China for uni, but I refused. I was like, nah, I'm not going to live in Yiwu, study uni. And then I went to Belarus to study Russian. After, I really wanted to leave Turkey because I was very bored and I really wanted to train Jiu-Jitsu because when I was in Belarus, I actually found Jiu-Jitsu through watching UFC and like being a Joe Rogan fanboy back then. And there was no Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, there was Jiu-Jitsu in Turkey, but it was too far away.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how can I trick my father? I said, okay, I can tell him I want to learn Chinese.
Yeah.
So I found Shanghai is the best city to like train Jiu-Jitsu, learn Chinese. There was a very good gym called Shanghai BJJ. So that's how I went there, studied and trained almost full time.
Yeah.
So so from what I understand, you're doing 3 hours of Chinese in the morning, and then after that, it was just study jiu-jitsu for like 3 hours after that, the very minimum, right?
Yeah, I was like, I had all these torrented DVDs, right? Yeah. Like I was like studying Chinese 3 hours, Monday to Friday, and I would just go to dormitory, eat, shower, study for a few hours, go train Monday to Saturday every day. It was really fun.
Yeah. Okay. So so you basically started jiu-jitsu in China, basically.
Yeah, 2012 February.
Okay. So how did it come about that you would make your own Absolute MMA Shanghai?
So I trained the gym called Shanghai BJJ for I think like 3 years, and then we had some disagreements at the end. I had to leave, and then I went back to Turkey. By the way, I got my purple belt and brown belt in Turkey from Checkmate Academy. When I was visiting the coach, a very good friend of mine, he wanted to promote me because I didn't have a coach to promote me.
Yeah.
And then I was just originally training in my friend's yoga studio, very small place with like puzzle mats. And then another friend of mine told me like he has a room he has rented to do a jiu-jitsu gym, asked me if I want to do something together. Then I put some small mats over there, but we didn't have money, so we bought like defected mats, but 5 different colors. Because before that we had these green mats like
piled on top.
Yeah. And then we would just hit our head on like wooden floor and stuff. And I got those mats. Then suddenly a lot of people started to join. And then we decided to buy proper mats. And then I think around that time, you must know Dorothy as well.
Yes.
Dorothy was around town. She joined as well. And then in a year, we had 150 members. So one of my good friends, Kalo, he used to train at Absolute MMA Melbourne. And then one day he just told me, hey, my friends in Melbourne, they want to open a gym in China. What do you think? And I was already following Lachlan Giles. Like I already watched all his videos. Like this was 2017.
Yeah.
And then I was interested. That's how we got connected. And then from there, we just opened up Absolute MMA Shanghai in 2018.
So what's the jiu-jitsu scene like in China? Because in the early days, I had a friend that got an AOJ affiliate in Nan. I think. Oh no, is it Nanning? I can't remember where the location was. It's
Kunming, I think.
Kunming, that's it. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, this kid Michael. He was a blue belt at the time. He went on holiday to AOJ and he decided to open up like a AOJ school there now. It looks like it's a very big school there as well now. But I'm guessing in Shanghai it was still early days for jiu-jitsu there.
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but now it's like it's huge in China now, right?
It is huge. I think I'm lucky because when I first went to Shanghai BJJ was already very good.
Yeah.
Like we had good coaches, good culture, like good group of people. And then I think they are the like pioneers. One of the pioneers.
Yeah.
I think there was only like Shanghai BJJ and Alawanka back in 2012. Yeah, so now it's huge. It's like it's absolutely huge now.
I heard Shanghai is probably the epicenter for like the best jiu-jitsu in China.
I think so. Yeah. Maybe not after I left, but
yeah,
it is. Yeah.
But it seems like most of the major cities now have their own like little jiu-jitsu community. There's the ASJJF in Japan, run by a guy called Edison.
Yeah, I know Edison.
Yeah, he made his own association. Well, there's a Chinese association.
Over Limit?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I think I think he's been more focused on competition.
Yeah,
and it seems like every time there's a competition in China under that organization, like registrations close out almost immediately, basically.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah. There's also GCJJF, Greater China Jiu-Jitsu Federation. They're also very good. And then there is like Def Group, Shanghai BJJ, very good gym as well. Yeah, very nice people.
So now I think from what I understand, Absolute MMA Shanghai's turned into Method now, yeah. But they have a couple of associations now, right, around China.
So they have 2 gyms in Shanghai. They used to have one in Harbin. I think they have one in Foshan.
Yeah.
They're like my very good friends. Al Leone, you know Al Leone brand, actually it's the same people. And I think they have done a great job, because when I left, they took over Absolute MMA, changed it to Method, and like they did like very good renovation. They take very good care of the coaches. My good friend Boris is the head coach over there. Shu Ching, Asian trial winner, 66. He's also coaching over there. Joseph trains there whenever he's there as well. Yeah, amazing. Like very, very good community.
Yeah. Would you say there's I always ask guests this, depending on where they're from. Do you think there's anything in terms of the jiu-jitsu culture in China that makes it like distinctly unique? Like, for example, like just from Chinese culture, for example, if there's something that you see as very distinct in China, like in terms of the jiu-jitsu style, or maybe how they train, maybe how the training is set up there, is there anything unique in that regard?
Anything unique? I just wish, what I wish is people had to work less so they could train earlier.
Yes.
Because like in Melbourne, right? My evening classes are like 5:30 to 6:30, and then 6:30 to 7:30.
Yeah.
Back in China, I would teach until 9.
Yeah.
Because the first class will be at like 6:30, and nobody could make it. I think Chinese people work very hard, like Asians, right?
Yeah, Asian.
I think, I don't know, like they're super nice, very respectful, open to learn. But anything unique, this thing, I don't really know.
Yeah. It's funny because I spoke to a Russian guest. I actually just released this podcast, a guy called Magomed. He teaches down in Phuket, and he trained initially in Russia as well. And I asked him if there's anything unique, and he just says jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, basically. If you didn't like China, you'd hate Japan. The class.
I like China.
Japanese class times are way later. It's like 8 p.m. 9
Oh no, yeah, horrible.
And then the trains stop moving at 12 as well, because especially when you're in central Tokyo, for example, the trains all stop at 12. So if you're stuck in one particular station, you could pay a ridiculous amount for a taxi home, or you'll have to stick around in a karaoke bar until 5 in the morning. Right. Okay. So what I really liked about like just before you even started jiu-jitsu, you have this underlying theme from a previous podcast where you're talking about meaningful progression, right? And you seem to resonate a lot with games like World of Warcraft, where there's like a very distinct progression, and it was in the early days where there's not a lot of like resources to help you progress in the game, for example. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I really enjoyed jiu-jitsu as well. Is I played Final Fantasy VII, and I like the whole idea of like just progressing. Like you're not just playing a game like, and there's no like it's just like I like the idea of like getting XP and getting stronger as well. And I felt like when I started doing jiu-jitsu, it was kind of similar in that the more you put into it, the better you get. Obviously, there are different methodologies, and it's definitely evolved over the years. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that.
I think at the end, it all comes to learning how to learn.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing for me. When I was playing World of Warcraft, I was like, hey, I used to play like Undead Rogue, right? I was like, who is the best Undead Rogue in the world? Yeah. I would go and watch them and see what they do that I don't, what kind of gear they have, whatever, and like what kind of techniques, strategies, whatever. And then, I don't know, like even since I was a kid, like since I have internet, I would just go like, hey, how to brush your teeth in most efficient way. I was just always like watching stuff like this, like whatever, right? I'm like, hey, how can I do this better, less time, better quality, whatever. And like, so when I play games, I do like that. When I do jiu-jitsu, it's funny because when I moved to, like when I was in Turkey, there was no jiu-jitsu. So I would just download all these Solo Ribeiro, like Marcelo Garcia videos, and I would watch them at home, but I had nowhere to train. So I would ask my brother, hey, mount me, I will escape. Okay, you mount me. I remember one day I said, father, mother, just watch. He's going to mount me, I'm going to escape. And I couldn't. So when I went to China, I have a very good friend, Yunus. He's a black belt as well, Turkish guy. He lives in America now. I remember first day I met him, I was talking to him like, hey, I think I figured out how jiu-jitsu kind of works for a white belt, like, yeah. And then I just divided into different kind of positions, the hierarchy of positions, and my strategy is to start here, learning how to be unpinnable, and then I will do this, and I already have the DVDs. And then years later, he told me like, oh, I thought you were an idiot. And I said, this guy's gonna quit in 3 months. But I did exactly as I told him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think it comes to how your mind works. You know, whatever you do it in the same way. And me, I always go after deliberate practice, like how to get from point A to B in a very efficient way. And whatever I do, I want to do it best. Yeah. In the best possible way.
Exactly. When you say you had like kind of like a structure of how you go through hierarchy position, now when you actually see like the beginning of like instructionals from like Danner's instructionals, you see those thought bubbles and how he structures it, and it's exactly like you said as well. So now instead of just teaching individual techniques and repping out and doing pohara, now it's like exactly how you say it is concepts and structure.
Yeah. I think when I first started, I was watching a lot of Ryan Hall, and I still think he's the best person in the instruction ever. 100%.
Yeah.
He wouldn't show one move 200 times. He wouldn't. I don't like when it's like 8 episodes, right? And it has to be 2 hours each. So I just talk for 10 minutes and then do the same move again. Ryan Hall would be like, only thing annoying would be a lot of blinking, so I will just focus on his eyes and miss the technique. He's just super good.
Yeah.
My favorite instructions were always Ryan Hall, Paul Schreiner when I was coming up. And yeah, it's just, I like keeping it simple. But of course, I remember back then I was watching some, I'm not going to name the names, but like, okay, guys, how to have impassable guard. Move 1, technique 2, technique 3, technique 4. It doesn't, I can't learn like that. But I think too much of everything is bad. One side, you have like 20 techniques. The other side, you have 20 hours of talking, but also amazing information, right?
Yes, exactly.
If you are smart, you can learn from both. But I like something in between. So I really love Ryan Hall, like DVDs. It was amazing. Short and incredible technique, like super smart, like one of the best coaches I've ever seen.
Yeah. I remember hearing, I must admit, I think Ryan Hall's instructions are like some of the, I think that and Roy Dean was kind of like the first 2 instructionals that I looked at as well. But depending on where you first started and trained as well, and depending on obviously who the coaches are, the culture can be very old school in terms of just repping things out. And I remember the first school I trained at, there wasn't a weekly progression. It was still very much a mix between traditional martial arts, jiu-jitsu, and Muay Thai. So the timetable kind of tried to cater for everyone. And the problem with that was I think there's only jiu-jitsu maybe 3 to 4 times a week. But what I noticed was day 1, 2, 3, and 4, there was no structure whatsoever. So one day we'd be learning something completely different to, let's say, on the 3rd day, there's just everything is super different. So some people, I found it very, I think in terms of progression, it wasn't as linear as it could have been, basically. Yeah.
It's very, very common, like, because I remember when I was a white belt, I would like, I couldn't learn, okay, we are in the Lahiva position, technique 1, 2, 3. And I was thinking, okay, but I need to understand why am I grabbing the far sleeve, but not the collar? And when should I grab this? What are the advantages of this? So I couldn't learn that way. So because I just can't learn in class either. Like I can never learn in a class. Even when I was learning Chinese, I wouldn't go to the classroom. I would just go to, we had New York University building in our Huadongshi Fandashe, East China Normal University. So I will just skip all the classes. I will take my iPad and go to the library, and I will study like 5-6 hours a day over there. And then when it's time to renew my visa, they will say, oh, you never come to class, we will not let you renew. But then I would speak fluent Chinese. Like, and I would just open a random book and read the whole thing. They were like, okay. We will let you. I can't learn. I need to learn by watching again, like something like that.
So you're talking about learning how to learn is important. And I completely agree with you 100% on that as well. I think learning how to coach is just as important as well. And I think in terms of coaching as well, one of the more important things to understand is not everyone learns it the same way. So I've always found it fascinating how being able to teach a class with just a diverse range of people with different types of learning, how they learn, size. It could be anywhere between a 21-year-old college kid that's extremely athletic to a 45-year-old dad of 3 kids that can only come in twice a week, for example. What do you think, in your opinion, is the best way to structure a class? Like how you structure a class personally in Absolute MMA, for example?
I think what I focus on is I teach people fundamentals. What I want from my students to like white belts, blue belts, I tell them your goal is to become unpinnable. And then after them, I teach them like basic stuff. I teach them like half guard retention, open guard retention, like simple guards, like how to play half guard, and then how to play butterfly, elevation to single leg X and stuff. Like I think this kind of stuff, for example, people ask me, they want to get good at leg locks, right? And they want to buy PTs to learn leg locks. I just teach them foundations of single leg X and X. I said, look, if you don't have these, it's going to be very hard to have good straight ankle lock, Aoki lock, entries to like some other leg locks, right? So you need the foundations that you can build upon. So in my classes, I usually teach these foundations. And then these things usually don't require too much athleticism either. And then what I am very careful with is I don't really teach things that I don't do. You won't see me teaching berimbolos. I don't know how to do it. Sometimes people ask me like, can you teach me berimbolo? I'm like, bro, I have no idea. I've done one berimbolo in my life. No, because for me, it's like, if I teach a week of something I don't do, it will be disconnected from everything else I teach. So if I'm going to teach, let's say, spider guard, like a lot of spider guard, right? I need to connect it to everything else. Like, spider guard is still easy, like color, like let's say worm guard, right? If it's completely disconnected to the rest of my curriculum, I don't think students are going to learn anything. And then whatever you teach, you need to first cover it with systems that really goes well with it, and then just repeat again. Like people need a lot of time in this particular thing to be able to, or you just like introduce the foundations of these, and then they can build upon. That's my job. I introduce everyone to foundations, like simple wrestling, getting to rear body lock, taking people down from rear body lock, getting a single leg attack, like countering the knee shield and stuff. Instead of doing like too many different things, just introduce the foundations, let them build upon.
So when you're teaching it as well, see, I'm always really interested in class structure, because I remember when I first moved, I was still living in Scotland. I went to university in Aberdeen, and then I joined the Culture and Inclusivity Association there. And I remember really getting into jiu-jitsu, and my uncle was living in Thailand on a holiday, so I came to Bangkok for the first ever class, and the warm-ups were 30 minutes. I don't know. Some people like the warm-ups. Me personally, I think there's a time and place for it, especially in beginners classes, especially when you have a fundamentals curriculum. But like an all levels class, for example, you should be getting straight into it, basically, in my opinion. So like, let's say, I like warming up with, let's say, technique. And I remember Craig Hutchinson, he's actually competing this for, tonight at 1FC. He says, I gauge a jiu-jitsu gym by how soon you actually get to start touching each other in terms of like interacting with each other, basically. And he found that really important. What do you think? Let's say, how long are the classes at Absolute MMA, may I ask?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay, so let's say, what are the timestamps for your 1 hour class, let's say?
First, I want to say something about long warm-up sessions. That's basically zone 2 cardio. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I tell my students, like, if you're going to compete, you want to make sure you have zone 2 cardio and HIIT cardio. Like, I really like this. I watched this video saying, like, if cardiovascular strength is like a triangle, the bottom is your zone 2 and the height is HIIT, right? But there's also something called diminishing returns, right? So I don't want to spend half an hour of my class for warm-up, because then what I think is the most important thing is I need to teach you understanding the concept, right? I need you to understand the concept, then I need to set some rules and put you in that position, in position of sparring. And then I also need you to have fun. So I'll let you do free sparring. So we do 3 things.
Yeah.
We start immediately with technique. I do like 20 to 25 minutes of technique. I usually do like 3 techniques in one class. I don't do more than 6 techniques in 1 week.
Yeah.
And they're all connected. Let's say we are doing like chest to chest guard pass, half guard passing, right? First, I talk about layers of defense and layers of offense, my goals, his goals. And then I said, okay, my goal here is pinning his upper body using my upper body and freeing my trap leg. And I let them, I want them to understand. And then if I can put some jokes in it, it's even better. Yeah. Some metaphors, because people remember like that, right? And I'm Turkish. We have metaphors for everything. Yeah. People who watch this, they're gonna say, "Oh, this guy." There's a Turkish saying for this. There's a Turkish saying for that. I like using like, I didn't know the word dilemma, right? Yeah. So, because like English is not my main language, so I would always say, "Guys, I'm gonna give him a stick with shit on both ends. So if he grabs this end, there's shit. If you go like, that's how we say in Turkey. And people would just think like, oh, this guy's just making shit up, because you can't have a metaphor for everything. Yeah, we do. We are Turkish. We have. So like, I do like 20 to 25 minutes of technique. Then I say, okay, it's positional sparring. Because you understood the concept. It's like, I need to use my upper body to pin his upper body. Yeah. Why should I be pinning his upper body? Because if his far shoulder is off the floor, this allows him to easily hip escape. And then there are 3 things he can do: knee shield, butterfly hook, going to close guard, whatever. Once you understand this, and you understand the layers of offense, right? So, okay, if your forehead is on the floor, on the far side, it is the best because he cannot get his arm here, blah, 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 right? And then, okay, now we're going to positional sparring. Person on top starts with cross-face underhook or near side underhook. Your goal is to mount. Person on bottom, try to get to close guard, put a butterfly hook in, sit back up, or get your knee shield back. And then I let them do it like around 10 minutes. Yeah. Sometimes it should be more as well, but I need to be very careful. People are not all there to become the best grappler. Yeah. They need to have fun, because usually, especially noontime, they just come to sweat. But I can't let them do free sparring for 1 hour, right? So you need to balance
between fun and progression.
Fun and progression, yeah. And then just let them do 3 rounds of 6 minutes free sparring. They'll be very happy. 10 minutes to 15 minutes of position sparring, that will make me happy. and then basically just teaching technique, concepts.
So 3 6-minute rounds, did you say?
3 6-minute rounds.
That's good. Yeah, that's the bare minimum, I would say. Yeah. Okay.
But that's not for competitors. For competitors, we also have competition classes. We do like 9 minutes rounds, 3 people, 1 person on bottom. Yeah. For example, 1 round, me and my friend will be passing this person for 3 minutes. Yeah. And then we switch every 3 minutes. And then those rounds are hard, like guard passing, chest to chest guard passing, sometimes underhook half guard, sometimes front headlock, sometimes finishing rear body lock, single leg. But those are people who want to compete. And I tell them they need to be lifting twice a week and then doing some kind of zone 2 cardio, HIIT, and wrestle. Yeah. Like, if you want to get good at jiu-jitsu, you have to wrestle.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone. And luckily, we have amazing wrestling coach at Absolute MMA.
Yeah. That I think that's the one thing we're probably missing at Arete is competition classes. It was obviously after coming out of the lockdowns. You probably went through your own problems. We had our own problems as well. Crappy landlords, for example, having to move into a new location as soon as possible, and then like paying off the debts from the previous rent and stuff like that. I'm sure you had the similar problem. But yeah, now we're at this stage now where the owners don't have to coach as much, and we can actually bring in coaching staff to Arete to teach now as well. I don't know if you ever got the chance to meet him, but I wanted to bring in Nogi, just because that's all I could teach when I was in Myanmar as well. And this guy called Jack Brown, the Scottish guy.
Yeah, I trained with him.
Yeah. Great guy.
Very nice guy.
All he wants to do is study instructionals and teach jiu-jitsu. That's all he wants to do. And luckily, he was teaching for 7 months at Arete. Hopefully, maybe mid-2025, we find an international school teaching job for his wife. Nice. And then Jack comes back to Thailand.
He's a nice guy.
He's an incredibly nice guy.
Very acoustic. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, my mother's half Scottish as well, so I remember going back for Christmas, and I went to the gym that he goes to as well, and some people you meet and you just like them immediately, and during the lockdowns he did a little bit of travel here and there, and he managed to be able to teach for a while as well, and he did a very similar structure that you're talking about called he calls it pods, where like there's one guy in the middle and there's three guys pretty much running a train on the guy basically. But yeah, so instead of, obviously you're in China, you're building like a jiu-jitsu community, you've got Absolute MMA Shanghai. Why did you decide to move to Melbourne? And why not go back to Turkey, for example?
So I was pretty happy in China until COVID.
Yeah.
But then, just like you said, when the COVID hit at the end of 2019, we had a lot of issues because we had the biggest gym for jiu-jitsu, right?
Bigger
and
the
then
space,
the rent
more the
was
rent.
Incredible.
Exactly.
But we were lucky because it was government-owned company, and then government just helped us with the rent. We didn't really have to pay much, but we couldn't stay there because so many people left, and then gyms were closed for 3 months, so we had to find another place. And I was lucky; I found another place, smaller. But like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like I had to just borrow money from my friends because you lose your savings and stuff. And then I had to work for free for a year because I didn't really ask the guys in Melbourne to send money. They offered, but I didn't want. I didn't want that because they had their own problem anyway. So I just had to work for free basically for a year so I could pay the rent and then pay some assistant coaches and stuff. And then after we started making money, but 2022, there was another lockdown in Shanghai, in Shanghai. Same thing happened again. And then I couldn't really keep going. I was like, one day I said like, man, I think
I've had enough basically.
Yeah, I had enough because Jiu-Jitsu gym should not be your main income.
No.
You know?
Jesus
like
Christ.
you will I learned that
the hard way.
Because I used to run a restaurant. I started a restaurant with my friends, Turkish, Greek, Mediterranean restaurant, and then I just wanted to do full-time jiu-jitsu. I dropped the restaurant business, and then but it was just, of course I didn't expect to get hit by 2 COVID lockdowns. But it was like super hard, like very, very hard. I remember my last year in China, I didn't even train. I had HC joint separation, and then.
But you still had to teach, right?
I had to teach, and I was super stressed because like every month I need to pay the rent, my own rent, but there is no income, so I have to do like extra privates and stuff. And then one day I was like home, just like sitting, and I had a phone call. And then they offered me head coach position in Melbourne CBD, but I refused because I'm like, I can't go. I have 100 students here. I have my life here. It's very hard to change countries after 11 years.
Yeah. I was in Myanmar for 3 years and lockdown same as well. Because like obviously gyms are all going to shut down as well. But what was that kind of just like? I got to do it.
No, at first I said I can't do it immediately, and then next day Lachlan called me. Olivia called me, Lachlan's wife, and then I was like, I can't, like, it's impossible because like I have my girlfriend, my business, whatever. And then after I'm like, I told you a lot, and then my best friend was about to leave. Also, so many friends have already left, right? And then what I did, I thought a lot about it, and then I said, yeah, I guess. It's time to leave because one other thing is also I wanted to get better at jiu-jitsu, but if I have to focus about financials, like to keeping the gym,
you're never going to progress if you got to worry about the rent.
It's very hard. It's very, like my last year we had Joseph over there, Xiaoshu, Xu Haiqing, like all those guys training hard a lot. But I'm like, I have no energy to train because like when you need to think about how to make money to keep the gym open, it's very hard to because for me, if I'm not studying something, if I do not have goals, I don't like training. Like I have to go to the gym with something in my mind. Okay, I'm working on this. I'm going to put myself in this position, get better over there. And then see what else is
how can you do this when you're thinking about
no, you can't. You can't.
It's impossible. Yeah.
And then I needed a coach, and I needed people my size, and I wanted to compete more. I just like I'm very happy that because we have a great team, amazing team in Melbourne. So now like I don't need to worry about any of these, because management, they do everything very good. So they just tell me, just focus on your job. I go, I teach my classes, people are happy, I'm happy. And then I can go to St. Kilda in the morning, train with Lachlan. And it's just it's another level.
Yeah.
And then it's very good because I can watch people, very high level people, and I have people my size to train consistently, and a lot of lower belts to bully. So it's good.
Yeah. We actually get quite, I mean, obviously with the trials, for example, we had a lot of visitors coming in from Australia, and I was actually shocked at how high the level in Australia is. Actually, they're nearly coming on par with like with the US, I would argue. Same with the UK. The UK they've all kind of like come up to this level now. It was really funny. Joseph was telling me like I would never go to the US if like the training wasn't like unless the training was good like elsewhere, because he hates the US because it's so dangerous. I heard a story about Daiki getting chased by a homeless guy, so he ordered everything by like Uber Eats, and it's for Joseph, it's not too bad because he's half, and he's grown up in like different countries, obviously. But like if you're Japanese, you've grown up in Japan, and your English isn't that great, it can be a major culture shock going on holiday in different countries.
Daiki loves Melbourne.
Oh, does he? Okay.
I'll tell you something funny. When he first came, because I know him from AIGA, we competed in the same team together. And then when he first came, he came with a friend, your friend, Japanese guy. He said, oh, Daiki is very nervous. He even brought some creams with him because he gets very nervous and he has some skin issues. I'm like, what, why? Like, this is Melbourne. He's like literally the easiest city, right? Like, it's so chill. Everything is easy, good, you know, like gardens everywhere, no stress. And he's staying with me. No, because he doesn't speak English. And then it was very funny. Like, I said, bro, this is like Asia. Like, you go to CBD, it's all Japanese, and then to make him feel even better, we will go on trams, and there will be like Japanese girls, and I don't know Japanese, but I will just say Nihonjin desu ka? Nihonjin desu ka? And they're like, hey, I said, oh, this is also Japanese, and then like he would like talk to people, and then he would he loved Melbourne after that.
It's funny, people tend to think like the ideal is moving to America, the American dream and stuff like that. But then when you like hang around in Thailand, for example, you realize it's actually like it's way more peaceful. There's certain other countries, like Thailand's extremely safe. I can leave my phone on the table and everything's fine. But let's say I go to Barcelona. A couple of my students went to Barcelona. They're at the hotel lobby. They leave their luggage. It's gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, these are like supposed to be the first world countries, but when you come to Southeast Asia, it's actually extremely safe. So it's pretty interesting in that regard. Yeah. And
Shanghai as well. Shanghai is the safest place in the world. 100%.
Oh, okay.
Super safe.
Yeah. Got to check it out sometime. But
Shanghai is amazing.
Yeah.
I always, like, because when I first went to Melbourne, they were talking to me like Shanghai, China is North Korea. I'm like, guys, you have no clue about what you're talking about. Shanghai is amazing. I think pre-COVID Shanghai is the best place in the world.
Yeah.
If I could go back and they asked me, okay, where do you want to live up to 2019? Oh, Shanghai, 100%. Still amazing city.
Yeah. But obviously, because China's so big as well, though, each city's kind of got their own kind of culture. Let's say, like Shanghai, I heard is a lot more cosmopolitan because you have so much foreigners going there, for example. But let's say like somewhere like Guangzhou or Shenzhen, it's a little bit different, right? Because it's a little bit more Chinese. Let's say, or is it Beijing? I'm thinking about.
But they all have good jiu-jitsu, good jiu-jitsu schools.
Yeah,
and they're very nice guys. They still text me. They're very respectful. Like super nice guys. Like they remember me. I left China 2 years ago. You know.
Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. I was in Malaysia I've been to Penang before because we have an affiliation there with Flow. But I went there because I have a partnership with Aesthetic in terms of supplying stuff in Thailand, and I've always been fans of them since they started in the UK. And Joseph was doing a little camp there in KL, and I met your student Shu. I'm really bad at it. Shu. Yeah, he was there. Didn't say a word. Didn't speak. He just kind of like, when he wasn't training, he was just kind of like on his phone. He was just chilling. And then there's another big Chinese guy called Snoopy that was pretty.
Yeah, he's my student. He's super nice.
He didn't speak that much English, but he definitely was more animated, and he was pretty.
The body look guy.
Yeah. And then there was Rin, who's Taiwanese, but he went. But then, okay, I'm not trying to be rude. Sorry, Rin. you look like a serial killer. A little bit. 'Cause he's got like the Asian mullet as well. And he didn't say anything, but on the last day of the resort, when we're about to leave, he just started speaking fluent Japanese to me. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the hell? Because he grew up in Chiba for high school, basically, and I just couldn't believe it. And just turns out he's a really nice guy from Taiwan.
He's super nice.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to meet the aesthetic people as well, and a few weeks down the line, it just kind of clicked with me. That wasn't just a camp. Like, they were trying to get Joseph for aesthetic, and I just everything kind of clicked to me, and I was like, oh, that's great news. Yeah, good for him. But yeah, it was an interesting trip, and I think that Joseph is in an extremely unique position where he's culturally Asian, but he looks Western as well. So he really appeals to both cultures, I think, and just because of that, I think he's going to succeed in jiu-jitsu, and especially he's going to be the guy that kind of like takes the charge in Asia, I think.
Yeah, it's strange because like there are some people who are a lot more successful than him.
Yeah.
Who has actually won a lot of, like, you can win ADCC gold medal two times, whatever, but you won't sell as many courses as Joseph or like. It's also about being marketable.
Exactly.
You know? Like especially if you're a big muscular guy on steroids and you win something. Versus you're a tiny, moderately sized Asian guy who's 19.
Yeah.
Like it's different, right? So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's a very good thing.
I mean, having a conversation with him as well was I just kind of got sucked into the conversation. I just like completely lost time because he was just so fascinating. I mean, usually a guy that's maybe 30, 35 is that insightful, but a 19-year-old kid, like talking the way he does, saying, "Oh yeah."
No, he was like that at 14.
Oh, God, it's mind blowing, and it's just okay. Well, I mean, my job's done. Like all them, like there's going to be kids that age that are way better than us in the future, you know. So I really enjoy the conversation with them. But yeah, like you said, it's about being marketable. I had Kemal and Shazinski here as a guest as well, and they sell really well, and they do the leg lock camp as well, and they're very popular around Asia right now as well. And they said the same thing. It's like, you know, it's not only do you win, it's how you fight, they said. And I think that's one thing as well. And obviously having marketable appeal as well is very important, I think.
It's also how much people can relate to you. Like not everyone can relate to like Gordon Ryan, right? No. He's like,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's hard.
Like it's hard to. Yeah. I mean, that's hard work as well. Like, like getting the jack. I mean, he's extremely technical as well. But also, when you're a 20 years old guy in Malaysia, Singapore, you kind of don't look after him, but you go like, okay, I will look up to this guy. Yeah. Like if this guy can do it, I might be able to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, relatability is very important. Yeah, that's true. Okay, man, we're like 30 minutes in the conversation. I haven't gone through any of the questions I had written out. Okay, let's get into a little bit. So let's talk about jiu-jitsu a little bit. So you discuss when you're rolling, a majority of your time, like 60%, should be people of lower skill level, and then maybe roughly around equal, and then some people that are higher than you, for example. In terms of that ratio, is it because when you're rolling with these people, you're always looking to learn something new? Because like sometimes people want to come in and roll for the sake of rolling, but I think in your context, you're talking about progression, right?
Let's think about this. Let's say I'm working on an entry to saddle, right? If I go against the best guard passer in the gym, window of opportunity is going to be very small. Or let's talk about like a single leg takedown, right? It's easier to understand. If I go with my wrestling coach, who's also Scottish, right? I can't touch this guy. I can't do anything, right? So what I do is, okay, I need someone similar size, but slightly worse than me in wrestling. So I can like get to his leg and then I can, because in my opinion, best thing is I never drill, never since white belt, blue belt, I never drill. I think drilling is like, it's not useless, of course, but I drill until I understand how the move works. I've always been pretty athletic, and like I could just, when I see a move, I could just do it. But sometimes I just don't understand how this move works. So I drill until I really understand. Then what I need after is, okay, I need positional sparring, but 20% resistance.
Progressive resistance,
Yeah,
basically.
and I put myself in there. I said, "Can you resist? What would you do? What would you do?" And I try to solve the problem, right? So for me, every round is like that. Like when I go to the gym, if I go like, I will just roll today. I don't enjoy. Or if I do that, I'm gonna say, okay, today I'm gonna roll with an empty mind. I'm not gonna think about anything. But even still, then I was like, hey, should I go like butterfly, single leg X, this kind of style, or should I play more like half guard? I still need to do something. And like I can't roll very light either. Like, I can't flow, for example. I've never been able to flow. I can't. I remember because like one day I was rolling with one of my good friends, Aaron, in St. Kilda. And then like we were playing and stuff. And then he hit me in an arm triangle. And I saw like Lachlan looking and say, oh, how did he get there with Kemal? Because Kemal never rolls like I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stand up now from here. Like because I always think, okay, today I'm gonna work on this exact thing, and I just say, okay, this guy is extremely good. If I'm working on camping, I'm not rolling with Levi the first day. I'm not rolling with Lachlan because then the window of opportunity is going to be extremely slow. I just start with this guy, and then okay, when I feel like my skills work on this, I go slightly higher. And when I go with higher level guys is when I want to just enlarge my horizon. Okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to work on. And I don't even need to roll with these guys. I just watch them. Like, for example, I'm going to Kazakhstan. We have a training camp, AIGA competition, right? I'm going to be managing the team. But I really want to train, watch, learn, see what they teach each other. And then this way I say, oh, there's something I can explore. Oh, this would fit my game, bam, bam, bam. Then I go back, I do my own study, and I do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to roll with blue belts first, purple belts later. I think that's how I learn, and that's how I get better.
Okay. My next question is, why do you have such a voracious thirst for knowledge? Is this something that your father instilled in you, do you think? Or do you think just like you just function like that from the very beginning?
I function like this.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question is like, you said that you wanted to, you didn't want to just learn jiu-jitsu. You wanted to be elite level, like world class. What is that definition to you? You being able to perform on the stage, on like the world stage, or is it you being able to transfer that knowledge to make other people elite level, would you say?
First, I want to say, I feel like if I do something, if I put too much time in this, right? I really want to be elite level. I want to be like, and by elite level, I never wanted to be a full-time competitor. Like when I was even like 24, 25, in my head I said, no, I want to get to like phenomenal black belt level. But I never had like, oh, I want to be like world champion. I don't care about it. As long as I have the skills, I can go head to head with anyone in the world in training. And it's not about even like beating them. It's just like being better and better and better than I was yesterday. And then it's easy to prove. Just go to the hardest training rooms in the world and see how you do against people. Not once, twice, but all the time, right? Consistently. Because to me, I never keep my medals, for example. Like I don't care about medals. I don't care. Like competition doesn't mean much to me. And training does. I love jiu-jitsu, and I want to the better I do it, more I enjoy. That's why that's basically what it is. And what else are we gonna do? You know, I don't want to suck at something I do every day.
Oh, that's good. Another thing that you actually said that was actually quite eye-opening for me on that Rolling Forward podcast as well is obviously you come from an athletic background, so you know how to use your body. And you said like when I'm teaching jiu-jitsu, a big hurdle can be when you're teaching students is they don't know how to use their bodies correctly. And in terms of being able to like functionally use their bodies, for example, do you think what does that look like for you in terms of how you teach them to use their bodies first before you teach jiu-jitsu? So before you teach any techniques, you teach them how to use their bodies properly. So does that go and see, like I said, I don't like warm-ups. So like how do you teach them to use their bodies then if they're beginners as well?
So we have introduction
Yeah.
classes at Absolute MMA.
Yeah.
It's a 45 minutes class. I make them do like body movements for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like animal movements.
Yeah, like
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff that teaches them how to move and shows them the leg in mobility. And then at the end, I show them like some cool downs, because jiu-jitsu people are horrible at warming up, cooling down. And then sometimes I teach some moves and I say, guys, here you will need some hip mobility. If you don't have it, go get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. I used to like hip mobility. And one day I just saw a video like a bulletproof BJJ. Okay, guys, this is some
Those guys
hip
are great.
mobility.
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
they're very good.
In
Yeah.
Australia as well.
Yeah.
I met them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm like, okay, I've been doing their warm up for like 3-4 years, and my hips are very mobile now. It's very simple. You train every day, get a mobility routine that's going to cover your lack of mobility, right? And it will warm you up.
Yeah.
And then get something to cool down and focus on like good breathing, good nutrition, this
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. So my next question is, in terms of, I mean, I'm sure you've met quite a lot of different people, but what is about Lachlan that you like wanted to be under him?
So, when I was coming up, I never had a jiu-jitsu coach. I never, someone has ever like taught me jiu-jitsu, like, okay, like took care of me. Okay, look, you're doing this, you need to do that. I would just ask my coaches and they will tell me, yeah, keep training, keep training. People would make fun of me. People would make fun of me because I was watching instructionals.
Yeah.
And then I was yelled at because I was giving people instructionals.
Yeah.
And then I was yelled at because I was helping white belts and stuff. That's why I had to change.
Yeah.
the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for what was the question again?
So just you decided to be under Lachlan.
Oh, yeah.
basically, yeah.
Oh yeah. So my idol was like Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to America, get my black belt from Marcelo, because I didn't really have anyone else to.
Yeah.
And then after I started watching Lachlan, I really liked his like videos and stuff. And then I came to Australia. I went to Australia because we were opening Absolute MMA in Shanghai. And then I met Lachlan and he was like super nice, right? And then I went to his leg lock camps. This was before ADCC, like before he leg locked all those guys, got bronze medal. And then when I talked to him, I found like, oh, he's exactly like me, like the way he thinks, like the way he learns, studies. He's very smart and very humble. And I said, oh, I think I want to get my black belt under this guy. And then I texted him. I was actually going to get my black belt 1 year earlier, but I really said, no, this is the guy I'm going to get my black belt from, because I like his approach. He's very smart, not meathead. And then we studied similar people as well.
Yeah.
And then I really liked the conversations we had. And then, then on top of that, he became very famous afterwards.
Yeah. So we actually get quite a lot of absolute people passing through. There's a guy called James that comes through. He's like he's pretty muscular, not too big, but he comes through quite a lot and trains and stuff like that as well. And he comes from absolute as well. But yeah, just Australians are very like, well, they're originally from Britain as well. Culturally, they get I kind of resonate with them a lot as well because they got a similar type of humor to Scottish people as well. But for you, what would you say is a distinct feature of absolute MMA that makes it so successful? Would you say, like, is it the gym culture? Is it the competitive team? Is it the coaches? What do you think it is?
I think first the owners.
Yeah,
they're very smart.
Yeah,
like Simon and Daniel. Very smart. Like Simon is very smart. He knows who to take care of, who to keep with. Like he does business with Craig as well.
Yeah,
Craig. It's never a coincidence. Like someone working with Craig every day, having Lachlan, and like having 3 amazing gyms. A lot of and then like this is only the jiu-jitsu side. They do the same for MMA. They have amazing guys for MMA as well. He takes care of his people. For example, why I went to Melbourne, because I was like, I am like, I trust this guy with my eyes closed. Don't worry. They will take very good care of me. I didn't even negotiate for salary and stuff because I trust they will never screw me. First, this level of trust.
Yeah.
And they take care of people. Like they supported Craig and Lachlan a lot. And then we have Daniel. Like Simon does these, right? He also more like the visionary one.
Yeah.
And Daniel is doing day to day, like running the gym perfect. Like very trustworthy as well, very professional. And then like very like, you know, sometimes the bosses can be like very harsh.
Trust me, I know, yeah. 100%, yeah.
I don't feel any of that.
Yeah.
I used to be their business partner, right?
Yeah.
So before I went to Melbourne, I almost never worked for someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make me feel very comfortable, safe, and like I trust them. And then they help me a lot.
Yeah.
Like very professional people, very nice people. They take care of their people, I think. And people feel very welcome in our gyms. I think the credit goes to those guys.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't think anybody's actually mentioned them before, so that's actually really interesting.
They're working very hard.
Yeah.
Behind the curtain.
Yeah. So basically, you have two people in the background, basically making sure everything's running smoothly, so that the actual like really good teachers and competitors can actually shine. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's like one of my business partners back in China actually told one of our coaches who thought he was like super important, right? He said, "You do not realize there's a group of people holding you guys on top, so you can actually shine. But actually, if these guys don't, you're no one. You know, it's teamwork. We have very, very good teamwork in Australia. That's also amazing.
Okay. So this is the finals of ADCC Trials, Asian Trials, and that was this year. When was it again? I can't even remember actually. But yeah, so it's Daiki Onekura and your student as well. Shu Haijing, yeah.
This was an amazing race.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Because both of these guys, they can wrestle, they can pass, they can play guard. Like, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Complete jiu-jitsu, universal jiu-jitsu.
It's a bit of a shame Daiki's so small. He's not even the right size for like under 66, unfortunately. Yeah.
If he was taller, bigger, he's a warrior, this guy.
Yeah.
If he had better diet.
Oh, he does have a great diet.
Last time he came to my home, I asked him, what did you have for lunch after training? He said, hummus and bread. And it was like evening, he was having dinner and hummus and bread. And 1 hour later, I can't stop farting.
Yeah. I think one of the things with jiu-jitsu that's really lacking right now is initial engagement from the standing position and how to grip and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's also jiu-jitsu guys stay too upright. And then they disengage, constantly go. It's annoying to wrestle as well. And then people either hesitate to attack the legs or do very, very bad double legs, you know?
The older I get as well, the more I don't want to do double legs just because I hate being sprawled on because I'm smaller as well.
Well, it's mostly because jiu-jitsu guys can't wrestle and then they overextend, right?
Yeah.
I like sending, whenever a jiu-jitsu guy teaches wrestling, I send it to my coach and he's like, oh my God, horrible. Again, size, you see the size difference here. They need 60 kilo. Like Aiga, we have 60 kilo. He's gonna do 60 kilo. He had very good.
Some of his matches.
Zach Gaina last time. Did you see there was almost a fight last time after a Daiki match that he got punched in the ass?
I mean, the thing is, jiu-jitsu is so popular now because of social media and stuff. But then when you actually see Aiga with like the Russian teams, just like you see how high the level is, but it's not showcased in the Western world. Just you don't see enough of them because like half the names you don't know and they're kicking ass.
Like
as well.
Airbag,
yeah,
Shahbanov, they were very good.
Yeah. Oh.
Good luck taking Daiki's back as well.
It's 8-minute match, so it's still not points per minute, right?
And then it goes to overtime as well.
Yeah.
It's I really like the trials. We came here with Lachlan and Mikkel.
I was there. A couple of my students were competing. It was actually really annoying for me. It's trials. It's not another ADC. It's not another regional ADCC tournament. I told the head coach from the Thai national team as well. I was like, you do realize this trials, right? And the problem is because of Jiu-Jitsu, they're more concerned about where the funding goes. So for the Association of Thailand, the funding goes to the Jiu-Jitsu competitions, right? So you have the 3 different ones, which are Nawaza, the fighting, and the duo, where you do the So it's just If I keep telling that you guys got to do more nogi, there's trials going on. There's only 2 Thai people that did the trials. It's mind blowing, you know? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Satoshi there in the background. Yeah.
So Xiaoshu is very good with front headlock as well. Good wrestling, good front headlock, very good passing, very good guard.
Here's a good question actually, because like when it comes to the front headlock position, I tend to go for high wrist or arm and guillotines if I'm going to commit to the front headlock. And obviously you can have the like Akagündüz and Darce and stuff like that. And then obviously you have the go behind, so you want to mix it up really well. The question I wanted to ask is, if you've got short arms, right, and you can't really do Akagündüz and like Darce's that well, do you think you should focus more on the other 2?
I think I do have long arms, and I always prioritize go behind. I feel like if I can get rear body lock, it's just it's pretty good. I want to take the back or get to side control, stay on top. Because if I feel like if I attack the head and I lose the head, then I also lose top position. And these days I just want to stay on top if I'm already on top.
No. I've got a Burmese student that actually, technically, he's probably the first Burmese student to ever, or the Burmese jiu-jitsu guy to ever do trials as well. He's still a blue belt though, but super high level. When the coup happened in Myanmar in February the 1st, there was no more jiu-jitsu because I had to leave the country because it got so dangerous. And he ended up, instead of doing jiu-jitsu, he was doing wrestling with the Myanmar national team for like months before he moved to Thailand.
Nice.
So but I think that's probably one of the more defining factors of why so successful in competitions because of wrestling.
Oh, it's extremely important. Like this was a battle. Like nobody can get something. Like keep changing. One of them almost gets the bag. 30 seconds later, the other goes.
It's a really good back and forth.
And that same day, Daiki had an amazing match against one of the Australians, David Stoyle. Super good. I was very happy because last time Daiki lost to him.
And then this time around he won.
Nice.
Reverse guard.
Very technical. Very technical.
Another thing I found with Japan as well, obviously, there's language barrier, there's cultural barriers as well. And obviously it's an Asian population as well. So I feel like it's very difficult for a Japanese grappler to get to that world-class level. Because when you think about it off the top of your head, there's only 2.
Kenta,
Daiki, and that's it basically.
Tomoyuki?
He's more of a gi guy, obviously, but
I like him a lot.
He's a nice guy.
He came to Melbourne twice as well in the last 2 years.
Oh.
That's me in the corner.
I remember when I was doing the match between Kent and Joseph. I remember Craig's in Joseph's corner in Australia, and then he just had a sudden outburst during the match. He just said, "Look at that chair. There's no one there. I was all by myself." It was funny.
Kenta is very good.
Yeah. He's telling me how he, like, for the first Japanese trials, he didn't know how to cut weight properly, so he was ended up running all night basically until the sun came up.
Yeah, he last time in Aiga he cut weight, and then he was eating rice and rubbing his belly all day. He's the only Japanese guy I know who speaks very good English.
Yeah.
Very smart. You know, he has physics degree, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Degree or maybe master's degree.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So very acoustic. Another very acoustic. Levi. Yeah, this overtime was fun. Rear body lock, man. It's just so good. Oh, my best student, Lachlan Giles over there.
You know, I went to Levi seminar when he was here for trials. Really good.
Very good.
Very smart as well. And just a few, like, some of the conceptual stuff he taught from guard was, like, really good, I thought, like inside and outside. Yeah.
See? Either could have won. This one was like...
Yeah. The thing I find really interesting is just obviously because of the way the point system is now, there's such an important emphasis on being able to keep top position and post top position, especially after a takedown, for example, when they go to like turtle or 4-point.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to break down or like defend from that position.
Rear body lock.
Yeah. There's only a few gyms in Thailand, I would say, that actually put in a lot of emphasis on learning that as well.
I think Tyler does a good job at BFL.
Yeah.
Tyler. Bro, good luck heel hooking that.
I think Tyler actually just dislocated his toe yesterday.
Yeah, I helped him teach his evening classes. I know him since before COVID as well.
Yeah.
He used to train with us as well. It's funny, Shanghai, there are a lot of people who used to train in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Now they live in Bangkok, all around Asia. Wow. Very technical. Shoe is very hard to heel hook as well.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know which match it was during the trials, but there's another match where he was fighting a Korean guy, I think. Oh my God, that was a war. After that match, I was like, there's no way he's going to have energy for the next round. And then, like, you see him, he just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But you see trials, usually there are like 4 guys. One of them can win. Like, depends. Like, sometimes you need to be lucky.
Yeah.
Like, even for example, Taiki fought Stoyle and then Shu. If it was Shu versus Stoyle, you don't know how it would go. Or you put Stoyle versus Taiki 10 times, you don't know who's gonna. But Taiki just destroyed his opponent that match. It was like super good.
A really, really interesting thing was I remember speaking to Shazinski about trials as well. It's like because like in the US it's over 2 days, but then Thailand it was over 1 day, right?
Yeah.
And he was just saying, like, in Poland, he said that the 77 division probably is on par or even better than, let's say, in the US, for
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You think so as well?
Yeah, 100%. I think 88 is not as hard as 77 for sure. And 88 is harder than Asian. Similar. Yeah, for me, hardest thing is getting a visa. Because Croatians didn't give me a visa last time. I couldn't go to trials. Crazy. 1 minute to go.
Yeah.
Look at this hook. Look at this. What's this? It's just so important for ADCC to do these rounds. Sanshimel.
Why do you think? Yeah, they both have to put their hands up because it could have gone either way. In your opinion, you think Shuhai won the match? Would you say?
Sorry.
Yeah. Just because obviously the first part of the first 8 minutes don't really count. It's the last 4 minutes that are going to count for the decision, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you're the judge, let's say for example, why do you think that factored in for Shuhai? Do you think? I'm kind of bowing down. Excuse me. Yeah.
When I was watching, because I love them both, right? But I thought Shu did more.
Yeah.
Shu did more. He attacked the back more. He was on top more. He had more like front headlock control and stuff. But yeah, it was very close. This was very close.
I remember doing the ref seminar the day before as well, and I just I didn't realize how hard it is actually to score for ADCC. It's like even if half of your back is off the mat, you don't score basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It needs to be like over 50% or 70%.
Okay, so this is quite good in the fact that obviously now because of jiu-jitsu is changing, there's different schools of like what people think should be prioritized in terms of jiu-jitsu. So my first question, and you have 90 seconds to answer it, is
Per question or?
per question you got 90 seconds to answer. Yeah, that's why you kind of get put on the spot and you don't know what the questions are going to be basically. Okay, first question is, self-defense versus sport. Has modern jiu-jitsu strayed too far from its roots as a self-defense system? What are your opinions?
I don't believe in self-defense. I don't teach self-defense. I don't want to give people false sense of security. I tell people best self-defense is a gun, but it's not legal, right? And then second self-defense is running fast.
100%.
If you can't run, use a pepper spray. If you can't use a pepper spray, do not strike. Grapple, but also you don't want to make the attacker even angrier. Right? So I don't teach. Sometimes we do self-defense events and we start with this. You know, I don't believe in self-defense through jiu-jitsu.
Good answer. Second question. Do you think there's certain techniques that should be banned to prevent injuries, even at the higher levels?
Yeah, I hate kanibasami, jumping kanibasami. I think it should be illegal. Why is it illegal to spike people on their neck, but just people can just I don't like people who spam kanibasami. I think me winning ADCC trials is not more important than someone's ACL joint. I don't want to put someone in like out of training, like ruin their life for 6 months,
because that is life changing.
It's very, very bad. And in the gym we also ban a lot of moves, like when you have rear body lock, we don't allow like that sitting backwards, like trapping the far leg, like any kind of takedowns from rear body lock, especially for white belts, we don't allow them. We teach them to put their hands on the floor gently, put the hips to the floor and take the back. That's actually a good answer, number one. For my like, because I remember listening to Danaher one time, and it was during a class, and he was just saying the 3 band techniques in class, because these will cause the most catastrophic injuries. And obviously it's always uncontrolled weight falling on limbs basically. So like, especially even in nogi as well, jumping close guard, for example. 100%. It's not allowed in our gym.
So we ban jumping close guard, we ban flying submissions. If you want to drill, that's completely fine, but during open sparring you never do that. And obviously kanibasami takedowns as well. Good answer. Okay. Obviously, you come from Turkey as well, so this is actually an interesting question I wanted to ask you as well. And I've actually had an interesting answer from Ishikawa-san, the CEO of Carpe Diem in Japan. He actually has really good English as well. And so this one is gender and inclusivity. So what are your thoughts on mixed gender training sessions and the potential challenges that could cause?
Mixed gender training sessions?
So like women and men, basically. Like, let's say...
It's basically any class. I just... usually what I tell is let girls choose a training partner instead of if I have someone in the gym constantly asking the ladies to roll I tell them stop doing that.
Seriously.
And I will on purpose put someone with the ladies instead. What I tell is let the girls choose who they want to roll with, and I tell the girls don't roll with white belts. They are the most male white belt is the most dangerous person in the gym.
Yeah.
And I tell them, don't go with people much bigger than you as well. Yeah, just keep everything. It's not only women, it's also like smaller men, right?
Yeah.
So I tell them, look, don't go with people 30 kilos bigger than you. Like, they will try to like break your shin and stuff. Yeah, I think it's good, but the coach needs to have an eye on creeps and spaz people. Yeah.
Spazzes and creeps, yeah. Exactly. Good answer. Okay. How do you feel about students training at multiple gyms or being gym hoppers?
When I was in China, like I had this gym and we had one of the coaches leaving and opening his own gym, right? And then my students were feeling very guilty training over there, and they were coming to me, hey, look, once in a while I go there and train, and I'll look at them empty. I'm like, bro, I don't own you.
Yeah.
You're my student. I like you. You can train wherever you want. I don't care. I don't care. You're paying me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm teaching you jiu-jitsu. I don't own you. I don't go home and think, why is this guy training here, there? But I had for example, my first black belt, like Xiaoxing. I told him, look, I put so much energy on you. I teach you jiu-jitsu. Like, I do everything, whatever you want. You don't pay here. I give you a job and stuff. So you better don't train with people like who constantly try to like other than that, I don't care. People can train wherever they want, and it's very basic human psychology. If you tell someone not to do something, they will do it more. If you tell them you are free to do whatever you want, they're like, oh, okay, and they won't go. I never lose students like that. Never.
Yeah, I had a bad experience about that back when I first started jiu-jitsu. Like sometimes it wouldn't be them saying something, but I would get like the behavior would change. Like they get passive aggressive because you're training somewhere else, and I found that really strange.
Yeah, very strange.
So gym culture, are toxic or cult-like gym culture still prevalent, and how should they be addressed?
I think in jiu-jitsu it's very, very common. Very common, like cult-like gyms.
Yeah.
You know, I think some people also enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some people enjoy it. I can't stand gyms where coaches sleep with all the members. Like, that's horrible, disgusting to me. And then it causes a lot of problems.
Exactly.
And like I also don't like, okay, I came, everybody stop, everybody stand up, everybody clap me, make me feel special. Nobody's special, everybody is the same.
Exactly.
And for example, people call me professor.
I hate that.
I said, bro, call me my name, call me coach, that's it.
Like Levi came in to train. I said, yeah, you're welcome to come and train, no problem. And he's like, oh, thank you, professor. And then I just he said that twice, and I just took him aside and said, Levi, please stop calling me professor. Just call me back, please. Because like sometimes people do expect you to call me professor. So
like in our gym, we are very chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I make a lot of fun of people, so I think they have the same rights.
Exactly.
You know, so I also don't feel myself so much more important than others. Just chill. It's only a sport.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. A little bit controversial, I guess. Okay, this is okay. Do you think the IBJJF is doing enough to elevate the sport and support athletes?
I think IBJJF is doing enough to increase the money in their bank account more than anything else. Like, we have this pen packs, right? As a black belt, I have 50 students competing, and they charge me $20 entry fee. Like, what's this? They charge Lachlan.
Yeah.
You need to be paying Lachlan just to come to your event. You can't charge him $20. But some other events, for example, we go there, say, I'm a coach. They say, okay, show me your Instagram, whatever. They say, oh, if you don't have active IBJJF membership, you need to pay. No, it's just a business. Just of course, every company needs to make money, right? That's the first purpose, but it can't be the sole purpose. But currently, unfortunately, it is the sole purpose. So I never compete in IBJJF competitions.
Yeah, another friend of mine called JB basically just said you're just robbing everyone of their money. Basically, he was saying, they are still the monopoly, but I feel like there's a lot of companies now up and coming where they do more to kind of like prop up the athletes. Like I've helped supported a couple of AJP events here, for example.
Oh, AJP is very good.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done a lot of AJP events in China.
Yeah, they've done really, and I think they do really well. And obviously, they fly them out to Abu Dhabi for the Master World Champions recently.
AJP is very good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Grappling Industries is good.
They're actually coming to Malaysia in February, and then they're going to be coming to Bangkok in March.
Yeah.
And they asked me to. They're actually sponsoring the podcast actually as well.
Nice.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. So the theme is rolling etiquette. What's your response when someone says "let's roll light," but then immediately they try and break you? That's a good one.
This doesn't really happen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I always match people's intensity, but if they're lower level than me, I don't even match. I just grab and squeeze.
Yeah.
That happens, but sometimes, look, like I used to play football. Some people, they're the nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
When they touch the ball, they become like
a whole different person.
devil, you know? Like, so sometimes people, they get tunnel visioned and like they do some stuff they usually like wouldn't do, but not because they're bad people, because they don't have awareness. But maybe you can just warn them. I say, hey, just go nicer. So it's not, you don't want to go like, oh, they go very hard, so I'm gonna go harder. And then especially don't do like ankle lock battles.
Yeah.
You know, like I've just last week I saw two students come to training and they do like ankle lock battle, and one of them ankle goes pop, pop, pop. I was, why? Just tap, go again. Jiu-Jitsu is a battle of information, right? I heard two things from Kurt Osiander, very nice. This is one. Second one is, I love, if you are here, you fucked up a long time ago. So you don't want to fuck up. Like, you wanna be smart about it.
One of my teammates, he got, I think he caught another guy in an ankle lock like 3 times, and it was near the end of the round. And you've caught the guy already, so you kind of take this, take the foot off the gas, let's say, for example. And I think the guy was just desperate to get one back, so he just went. He went to steamer lock, and it was just like.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. Steamer lock either doesn't work or breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always very when it comes to submission, I like control-based submissions where you don't have to rip something on very quickly. So yeah.
Rear naked choke. Yeah. My favorite.
Okay, my last question is, what's your view on instructors enforcing loyalty to their gym above all else?
I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're an instructor, I buy service from you unless you teach me for free. You feed me, like you take care of me, then I'll like, okay, I'll be loyal to this person, right? So if I come to your gym, I have to pay $200 a month, right? That's a lot of money. I take service, and especially if you don't teach me like very, very good. If you just come, okay guys, warm up 30 minutes, sparring 30 minutes, go home. You have no right to ask anything like this. Yeah, like in our gym, we're like, you are welcome to train here. If you train anywhere else, that's completely your business. I don't care. You don't have to be loyal to me. I don't need your like, what do we need? It's at the end of the day, it's just a sport. You come here, you train with us, we are friends. I don't see you as just money, right? I like you, I talk to you, I teach you jiu-jitsu. We go outside, see you, I go home, you go home. If I see you outside, if you want to hang out, we hang out. That's it. You want to train, you want to go marry another instructor, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I think there is so much more to life than just constantly thinking about jiu-jitsu and like relationship. This happens when people don't have anything else in their life. Their whole identity is jiu-jitsu coach, you know?
Good answer.
When I'm outside the gym, I don't identify as jiu-jitsu coach. I'm just me.
Yeah, good answer. So, I don't know. I think just I ask this question no matter what now. There's a few questions I ask at the end. There's 3. The first one is, what does a black belt mean to you?
Well, I think a black belt is a person, like technical wise, right? He has good understanding of foundations of jiu-jitsu, how the positions work. And then he doesn't have huge holes in his game. And he understands that you never finish learning in jiu-jitsu, and you keep learning and learning. And like he's good at identifying mistakes, holes in his game. and doesn't really worry about losing face, getting submitted. I was a black belt, and then like, for example, Joseph trains in my gym, right? I was like, fuck, this guy is just so good. And he's only 19 years old. He's going to get so much better. What am I going to do? Just like block the guy? Hey, don't come here. Don't like, just don't worry about like this kind of stuff. Like just as a black belt, you also want to share the knowledge. You want to push these guys. You want them to get better, you know? And just don't, what I think is don't make the same mistake twice. You know, I go to gym, someone submits me with a submission. I'm like, okay, you will never catch me with this again. Like this, the black belt, I think is like a mindset, like a mentality, you know? Like, I think the black belt, the way you don't have huge holes in your game is first by understanding how systems work and then just analyzing where you are weak and just making it better and better and better. Yeah, but black belt is not about also performing good, competing good. It's like, because knowing is not equal understanding, right?
Yeah.
So some people, they know, like they look like they are very good at jiu-jitsu, but all they do is knee cut, far side armbar, knee cut, back take, collar and bow and arrow choke. You know, like you can be very good at certain things, but someone good will take you outside of your comfort zone. And if you have empty jiu-jitsu over there, then are you really a good black belt?
Yeah.
There are some brown belts now, like Joseph is a brown belt, right? Kaya, my friend Kaya Rudolph is a brown belt. A lot of guys, purple belts, brown belts, they're just so much better jiu-jitsu than a lot of black belts I know. And most of the black belts, actually, especially the ones who had received their black belts like 5 years ago, whatever, they are not really up to date. And then, it's just... Black belt... What I will tell you what a black belt isn't. Black belt doesn't guarantee you are good at jiu-jitsu.
Boom.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Second last question. What are your future plans? What goals do you have in jiu-jitsu?
I want to, hopefully this time I want to get my visa and do European trials, because last time I couldn't do it.
Have they decided where the next one is?
I don't know. It's always like it's European, African, and Middle Eastern, right? So Turkish people are only allowed to do European trials. It's funny. I went to both Asian trials to coach, but I couldn't do my own trials because they did in Croatia. And then I live in Melbourne, right? Australia. There is no way I'm going to immigrate to Croatia and not leave. They asked for crazy documentation. I found the organizer of ADCC gave me like invitation letter and said he will be responsible of me if I don't leave, whatever. They still say, sorry, we can't give you a visa. It's just...
Because you've obviously got a Turkish passport. Is that one of the reasons why it's so hard to get into Croatia? Because I went there for a wedding. There's no problem. Yeah.
The problem is if I was residing in Turkey, it would have been much easier. Because like over there, the embassies actually do this, right? Like, okay, you apply, they either give you or not. But in Melbourne, who needs a visa to Croatia? Right? So they're like, oh, who is this guy applying for a visa? And they don't care. Like I tried to go to Europeans, right? So I called the Italian embassy. There's nobody. I sent emails. They say, okay, get appointment. I tried to get appointment in, when was it? October?
Yeah.
There was no appointment until February 25. Like, I said, so I want to, because I'm 37 years old now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm natural. So like, I can't compete until I'm 50, right? So I really want to compete. So this year, my goal in Jiu-Jitsu is getting a European visa. And doing European trials and Europeans, IBJJF.
Wow.
That's my goal. I get better. My goal is, I have chapters of focus. So you can't always focus on Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes you need to focus on something else in your life. But my goal is whenever I'm focusing on Jiu-Jitsu, every 3 months, I need to be a much better grappler. That's my thing. I think I learned that from Lachlan. He told me one day, like, I think if he had to choose who to teach, he would always focus on people who are very good at learning and how much they can improve every 3 months. So my goal is like, when I'm training, every 3 months, I want to feel like I'm a much better grappler than 3 months ago. And it's very possible with like deliberate practice, I think.
My last question is, who would you like to thank? It's like closing, just like gratitude at the end,
I would like to thank to everyone first, like I trained with in China. my training partners, my coaches, when I first started, all my friends who supported me. I had amazing time in China. Most of my adult life, I was in China actually, felt like home. And then last 3-4 years, I would like to thank to my sponsor, Leon, really taking very good care of me. They helped me like do like AIGA last time, like took me to like training camps and stuff like, and then gave me opportunity to train with very high level athletes, and also help my friends as well. Like they helped Joseph, Xiao Shu, some other athletes out of China, like Yuan Yi was here recently as well. Like these guys, like Leon really helped them a lot. I would like to thank them as well. And then my ex-business partners, current bosses, Absolute MMA, I would like to thank them for supporting me, giving me a very good job. My colleagues and Lachlan for helping me get better as well. Yeah, it's just
my closing statement was when I listened to that podcast, Rolling Forward, I listened to it last night. It must have been like 1 a.m. or something like that, just because I was so busy with other stuff as well. But yeah, I just thought, where was it? The question I was going to ask, I'm going to have to ask in the next one that we do, to be honest. But yeah, just I think one thing that I really loved was you were talking about self-motivation and being principled, and how your father shaped your mindset and growth, being punctual, note-taking, being systematic with timekeeping and stuff like that. And that really resonated with me as well, because I thought my dad taught me a lot of stuff, and I was really looking forward to the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.